What's up, guys? I just want to cover this real fast. This is a big part of my income. Even if you can't donate something to help, whatever, this is how I make my money. I basically, YouTube's a fairly good size of my income monthly. If you can't donate or you don't want to, that's fine. Feel free to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. But if I kept you from spending hundreds or $1,000 easy at a shop, consider me. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to make these videos. I love giving free information, but it also feels good to have my back scratched too. You know what I'm saying? So everything you need to know is in the link below. Also in the comment section, you'll find all my information in the pinned comments. And I hope I help you guys out. You can help me out. Let's get started.
What's going on there, guys? So just follow the steps. It's pretty easy. This is the old master cylinder that was leaking. We're going to be replacing that today. So take off your two top screws. The top plate comes off. You'll see the rubber guard inside there. Remove all that. And then we're going to take our, I forget what they call that thing. Anyways, we're going to suck the fluid out. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But we're going to suck the fluid out, put it back in the bottle before we put the new clutch master cylinder on there. This is going to be the same principle for brakes. If you're just replacing the clutch master cylinder, the same principle. Okay guys, we're going to be taking our fluid extractor here and sticking that in there and sucking all of the fluid out. This makes it very, very simple to do if you have one of these. If not, well, you can put a bunch of rags in there to take the fluid out. That's one way to do it. Just let the rags absorb all the fluid, but this is the easiest way that you can do it. So then we're going to put it back in the bottle, simplifying our life. Instead of finding a container to put it in, just put it back in the DOT4 if the fluid is in good shape. If it's not, reasonably clear fluid, then dispense of it and replace the fluid. But I actually just replaced my fluid in the clutch not too long ago, so it's very clean fluid. So once you get the fluid out, we can move on here. So you're going to use a size 12 millimeter to take off the brake line. This is pretty average for most of these brake cylinder master cylinders, and clutch master cylinders are normally a 12 or a 14. It's rare that there'll be any other size, so just break it free. And then if you have, like me, electric tools, just use them. Speeds up your life, makes everything so much simpler, and the process then becomes easy. The idea is to make less work for yourself. A lot of rags also help here, guys. I know I'm showing it in here, but do not let brake fluid sit on anything with paint. It will eat right through the paint in a matter of minutes. So try to use a lot of rags and keep things as clean as you can. Have dish soap and water on hand to neutralize the brake fluid if it gets on anything, because man, it is very corrosive stuff very quickly. It will eat up everything very fast that it lands on, including plastics, seats, everything. Alright, so we have an 8 millimeter here. This is what we're going to be removing the bolts that are holding the handle to the handlebars. This is pretty, like I said, it's pretty universal for brake levers and clutch levers to be 8 millimeter. So once again, electric tools, if you have them, use them. They're your friend. Speeds up the process, makes your life a lot simpler. Just be careful when removing this not to get fluid on anything. Yeah, like I said, just be careful. That's all. Once you've got it removed, you're going to remove your clutch safety switch wires off the back of it. Just give a pull. Be careful not to pull too hard. Grab them by the actual prongs and give a pull once they're disconnected. Then you can pull the old unit off and prep to put the new unit on. So here you can see I have the new unit. Same thing, 8 millimeter bolts. Push it onto the handlebar where you want it. A good piece of advice, guys, turn the handlebars far to the right. That way you can make sure that the master cylinder is upright when you fill it with fluid, because that'll give you the most accurate fill measurement. So make sure your handlebars are turned all the way to the right during installation and filling of fluid. You want to try to be on the dot. You want to be on the money. You don't want to be low on fluid. When you brake and accelerate, the fluid's going to be going back and forth. So if you go to pull the clutch handle, you can create air pockets if you don't have enough fluid in there, covering the hole for the plunger. So just make sure that when you're filling this thing up, you have this turned all the way over. So now we're going to use the power tools again. We're going to go ahead and tighten this down. Once we have it tight, we can start getting the brake line reattached. And yeah, from here it's just pretty simple, guys. The difficult part's going to be the bleeding. I'll try to walk you through the process the easiest way that I can. It's going to, like I said, it's the same for brake, clutch, master cylinder. So here I am putting the new rubber O-rings on for the new bolt. I'm putting the new bolt through the brake line, and then putting the O-ring on that side of it. So as you can see, new bolt, 2 new O-rings, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten this thing down. I'll let the course of this play out here without audio. As you can see, I had to make a little adjustment, so I had to loosen the 8s and then get the brake line in there because it was a little pinched against the handlebar, so I had to raise the master cylinder up slightly, and then now I'm going to tighten it back down again. And just the angle of trajectory for the new master cylinder. On the back side there was a black guard that was keeping the brake line from making the bend, so I had to raise it just slightly. It won't affect anything as long as you have enough fluid in there. Should work just like normal, no issues. So we'll crack all this down and then we'll prep to put the new fluid in here. As you can see, I did forget to put on the clutch safety switches. Don't forget. I did notice it at some point and then popped them on there, but just make sure you're being mindful. Put them on. You can see they're still hanging. I have forgotten to put them on. So now we're going to take off the lid. We're going to do the exact same process we did with the other one, remove the top, and then we're going to fill it with fluid. And once we get it up to height with the fluid, then I'm going to show you how to bleed it. It's very easy. So see you in a sec. Okay guys, make sure to keep the handlebars hard over to the right when filling this up. If you're doing the clutch master cylinder, if you're doing the brake, handlebars hard over to the left of the bike. So we're doing the right, so handlebars are hard over to the right. You're going to fill this up with fluid until the line reaches almost the top of the glass reservoir. That way you can see a small bubble in there. That's when you know you've reached the correct height value of the fluid. And then what we're going to do is grab the brake handle and slowly pump it. You should start seeing a lot of air bubbles come out. What we're doing is pushing the air pockets out and we're pushing fluid in. Now, bubbles do not travel down. So if you disconnect the brake line and you have a worry that you created air in the line, what we're doing right now is actually getting that air out of the line. We're getting fluid all the way down to where we stopped, where the fluid came out of the brake line. Bubbles do not go down, they only go up, so you do not have that stress. So what's happening right now is we're pushing the air out that was created and we're filling it with fluid. You know that you are getting closer to getting all the air out when you start seeing fluid back pressure. So when it starts, the handle will start tightening up, and there you go, you saw how it spit fluid. It's starting to get pressure now. So from this point you want to pump very, very slowly. Okay, once you don't see any more air bubbles and all you're getting is pressure and fluid pushing up, then you want to turn the handlebars back and forth a couple times. Squeeze all the way hard to the left, very slowly. Squeeze all the way hard to the right with the handlebars very slowly until you see no more air pockets. See how I still have the occasional air pocket coming out. We want to go until we have nothing but fluid. So though we have brake pressure, if you did this wrong, you will know, because you'll go to squeeze it tomorrow and you won't have much pressure until you pump it a few times. That's how you know there's still air in the line. You want to be able to just grab it no matter what at any point in time, and it will have pressure. So just take this process slow. It's very simple. Once you have nothing but fluid, go ahead and top off the reservoir again until you get to the top of the glass plate, and you can just see a tiny little bubble in there. Then put the cap back on, and then we're going to test it. Once you have the cap back on, things are nice and tight. Move the handlebars back and forth a few times, give it a few squeezes, make sure you can see the bubble moving around inside of there. Clean up any extra fluid that you got, neutralize it with dish soap and water, and you should be done. Now it's time to test. And that's the simplest way to install one. We're going to crank this thing up, let her warm up for a minute, and then we're going to make sure the clutch is working good. Just remember to squeeze it slow. Get a bunch of rags, make sure you're not getting it all over everything, because you can see mine was leaking, which is what ruined this panel and all of this paint right here, was that the plunger right here was leaking, so it was time to replace it. So just ordered to set off eBay real fast. Company I've done stuff through, Caltrix. They normally have really good stuff, and their products last a very long time, so I have a lot of trust in them. Chinese or not, I have a lot of trust in them. Anyways, it's on there now. I have pressure, as you can see, so now we're going to crank it up, make sure that the clutch is completely disengaging and engaging when it should. So let me crank this thing up here. Alrighty, should be warmed up now. I'm going to go ahead and pull the clutch. Oh yeah, I have tons of pressure. Kick it in gear. Yep, back tire's not spinning. I'm going to slowly let out the clutch. There it is. Complete engagement and disengage. Beautiful. Working perfect. Working perfect. Not bad for an old P model. I'm actually considering throwing the brake handle on there too while I'm at it, just so I have matching handles. It'll look a little better, but yeah. For right now, I think I'm good. Navigation, everything's working. I didn't get any of the brake fluid on plastics or anything, so that's all doing good. And like I said, if you guys haven't considered an Android autoplay system, this thing's sweet. It allows me to do all my full navigation right from here. This thing is really killer. And I have this set up to play Pandora through my everyday. I mean, I've got everything. I've got my entire app scheme plus Discord up, so I can actually run multiple servers on Discord. In case I have a group ride, I can have up to 30 people in one room all communicating on the same channel, which is very neat as long as they have the Discord app. And I can control the Discord right from here while we're riding and send out message blasts across to everyone else's either audio in their helmet or whatever I want to. This is a really nice device. I know people are like, oh, I want my Garmin Nuvi, but to be honest with you, you get way more options with Android Play than you do with just a standard GPS system. So, oh, food for thought. This old girl has 63,000 miles on her. As you can tell, she's running like a top. I think the next thing I'm going to do is probably some Delcovic exhaust and go that route. And she sounds perfect. Perfect for an old police bike. There you go. Don't forget to smash that like button, show a little love, and if you want to, don't be afraid to donate to my channel. It really helps, man. Everything helps. Let me hold this down until it powers off. Red light goes off, she's off. Beautiful. And remember, we did just install the alarm on this too, so now she's got an alarm on her. Let's see. There we go. Anyways. Kapow! Happy bike. Happy Dan. She's looking sexy. Gotta love these old STs. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the flip. Toodles.